Welcome to the Adventures 3 Friday podcast. This is a live update. We'd like to kind of tune in once a week because the videos are oftentimes usually anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks behind, just because it takes me a little longer to collect the footage, but also then kind of piece it together so it's a compelling piece of entertaining content that we can distribute out in the world. But a podcast for us is pretty simple. We've got some exciting news. I'm JC. This is Katelyn, wife Katelyn, co-host, podcaster.
And we are not sitting in our trailer today.
No, we are randomly recording this podcast from the interior of our truck. We've got Diesel with us. Chase is with Grandma. We're RV-less, which is scary.
Homeless in a sense, if you will.
Yeah, we made the drive down the Pacific Coast Highway, hit San Francisco, dropped off for the Super Bowl, and Katelyn and I threw out the idea of, why don't we see if anyone wants to buy our RV, which...
So, something you need to know about JC and I. We are very spur-of-the-moment type people for a lot of things, and a lot of these things make huge impacts in our life, and we kind of thrive on it.
Yeah, we have like these big drawn out plans and these like 5, 10, 15 year like goals and stuff, but oftentimes sometimes those plans get sped up rather quickly. We've been looking at new RVs, and we kind of decided that the RV that we were currently in was not probably the best situation for us to travel full time. And we knew that if we were going to trade in the RV, we were going to get a lot less money for it. And we do have to go back to Georgia here in the next 3 or 4 weeks to handle some of our business stuff that makes us and allows us to be able to travel full time. And so that's why we decided to throw it up on Facebook Marketplace. And then sure enough, one of the neighbors that we're staying with ended up buying the RV off Facebook Marketplace, which then we'll be able to take that capital and be able to put it towards a new RV, which I think we've decided on a model and a style, but we just need to go and physically look at it, make sure it's something that's going to fit our needs. Because
this model is only, it's very new, and they don't have any of them over here on the West Coast for us to check out. So we have to wait until we get to Georgia to actually physically look at the models. So
yeah, that's if we find a great Airstream deal along the way back to Georgia, we might take a look at that. We might look at some other models before we do make that final decision. Mm-hmm. And you might be asking yourself, are you going to continue down the Pacific Coast Highway?
We've asked ourselves that too.
Yeah. It's
a million different times. I think we are. We've decided to kind of, we want to continue our trip. This is something that we've wanted to do. We've already done a lot of it, and we've bared through the terrible weather, so...
We haven't even gotten to the good part yet.
Like, why stop now? So we are going to continue along. We have a tent. We've tent camped before. It's not a new... We have everything we need to continue our journey.
So the great thing about the RV that we just sold, we brought all of our camping gear for some reason. Like, we brought the tent, we brought the sleeping bags, we brought the little portable stoves, we brought ice chests. Like, I don't know what we were thinking. I don't know if it was our subconscious knowing that JC and Katelyn would go crazy and just decide to sell the RV on a whim.
Yeah.
But we're all prepared for it. The only thing that we are going to struggle with is fitting everything that was inside the RV into our truck, which we have a full-size truck, but we have a short bed, which is currently...
And a cover on it.
Yeah, and we have a ton of cover on the actual truck, which is going to eliminate some of that space. So that's going to be an adventure in itself.
But we may just downsize again, because we could do a little bit of downsizing without...
We're not going to downsize the truck. We need the truck to tow the RV.
Downsize our stuff.
Yes. So another thing that we realized as we were cleaning out the RV, that we brought a bunch of stuff that we don't need. Like, we have clothes for all 4 seasons. Mm-hmm. We have gear that is, I didn't even know we had. I just threw it in the RV and thought, one day we might need it.
It was kind of like a trial and error to get in this first RV and out there, and now we know exactly what we use and how often we use it, so now it's a little bit easier.
Well, Katelyn also was like stocking like a commercial kitchen. She had pots and pans and griddles and skillets and all kinds of stuff that I was like, oh, we pack that too, huh? And so we're slowly getting rid of some of that stuff that we've realized that we don't actually use. And I think that's the one, at least for me, it's like a great way to like purge some of the stuff that we don't need, and having less is to me exciting, because I'm always I like to buy stuff. I like stuff, but also I like new stuff. So if you get rid of your old stuff, you can kind of fill in the blanks with some new stuff, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, time for a little bit of upgrades.
So the RV itself, we transferred ownership yesterday. The new owners was excited about it. You might be asking yourself, did you disclose all the things that we found wrong with the RV that we just sold? We did. We sold it as is. We made them very aware of all the problems that we did have with it. We even gave them our YouTube channel, which has documented every headache that we've ever had with it. And their intentions with the RV was not the same intentions we had for the RV. So it was something that they could repair at their
convenience.
Yeah, at their convenience, but also they were going to use the RV in a different way. Like they were going to take weekend trips to go fishing and camping and that kind of stuff. And we felt like, we wanted to leave that RV with someone that was kind of their intention. Here in beautiful California, we've been reached out by 20, 30 people who wanted to live in the RV. And we're like, that's probably not the greatest idea. We've had some what we thought was pretty severe water damage. Come to find out, when we were cleaning out the RV and I was, making some repairs and doing some inspections, and it wasn't as bad as we thought.
It wasn't at all. It looked so much better once we got out of the rain, and
we dried everything out and realized that the water was not leaking. It was not leaking from the roof. It wasn't leaking from the walls. It was actually leaking from a taillight that Katelyn broke. You definitely broke it. This is probably like 3 months ago. Sometimes the light bulb inside the taillight was like loose. And so every time we would hook up the trailer to check the lights, sometimes she had to peel the little cover off, and she broke one of the little plastic brackets, which I think was allowing water to get inside that wall.
Maybe it was the tape job that was trying to repair that.
Yeah, and also, I had applied RV tape, and it was something that we didn't think it was a big deal, and turned out to be a bigger deal than it was. I don't think moving forward I will ever do that again. But to wrap up with the new owners, we made them very aware of all the issues that we had. We gave them, all the documents that we had. We gave them what we were aware of, what was going on with the RV. That was important to us, that whoever was going to purchase the RV understood that there were problems with it. It was a pre-owned, RV. We made them very aware that, the gray tank listed as the gray tank is not the gray tank. It's the black tank, and the black tank is the gray tank, and the gray tank is the black tank. And, we also supplied them with some necessary stuff to be successful with this RV, which was, I think was a good transition, a good transaction for both parties.
Yeah.
We definitely didn't make money. We didn't significantly lose money, but,
we definitely took a loss though.
Yeah, we took a loss. But at the same time, in order for us to move on, and to continue this lifestyle, we're going to need to do it in a different style RV, which we'll be touring some different RVs here in the near future. Now, as we continue down the Pacific Coast Highway, like we touched on, we are going to be camping. We've documented our camping journeys before. Sometimes those camping journeys are also going to involve hotels.
Yes.
Because, we do have a 5-year-old and a 100-pound dog, and we do have some things that, we got to be able to take care of, that a tent would probably not be the most practical, especially if we run into some weather.
Just weather dependent, because we have the stuff that we need, but we also aren't going to force anybody to be absolutely miserable. It's not part of the experience. So, going along this next stretch without the RV, might be a little bit more sped up. We're probably going to be able to drive a little bit longer days, see a little bit more, we're in the cities and stuff. So, that's kind of exciting for us. And then, yeah.
Well, we're gonna get two things that kind of drove us this decision to sell the RV in California. One is our rental properties we're gonna have to do some work there, and in order to get back to Georgia, it would be faster with no RV behind us. It's just as simple as that. We're able to drive faster. We're able to do, not against the law, but we're able to do like 10, 12 miles an hour faster. But also the fuel economy. We're not lugging around 6,000 pounds behind us, which in order to get back to Georgia, it will be a little bit faster. We'll be able to take some longer drives, but I think we'll be able to do some things that we weren't able to do on the way out to California.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to fit in spots that, like the Grand Canyon possibly, or maybe, be able to see some of the local towns or cities that we couldn't drag. I mean, we literally drug the RV. We made a critical error in San Francisco, and not to ruin the couple videos from now, we crossed the Golden Gate Bridge, and then I accidentally got off the freeway, and sure enough, we were driving downtown San Francisco in the financial district, Chinatown, and also like where Pier 39 is, which I don't like. There's cable cars and people everywhere. It was a nightmare.
It was also on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah,
so there's people everywhere.
Every 49er fan was out and about in San Francisco that day, which was just, it was the most stressful drive I've ever had. We didn't hit anything.
Or anyone.
It did, come to find out, it did cost us like $60 to drive in the city and leave the city because we didn't realize that we have a 2-axle trailer and they charge per axle, which means that we have 4 axles. Anyways, I'm looking forward to this next part of the journey to say what's coming up here in the next few weeks. I think it's going to be fun. He was excited to get rid of the trailer for some reason. He was excited for a new trailer, but he's also excited to go tent camping. He loves tent camping.
It's because he's always outdoors, so he gets to just be outside and be a boy and just enjoy life. Unless it's raining.
Yeah, which hopefully we avoid. Everyone keeps asking us, which route are we going to take? We're not taking 80. We're probably not going to take Highway 40. We're going to try and avoid snow, rain. So that means we're going to drive down the Pacific Coast Highway, hit San Diego, and then make an immediate left turn and kind of follow the United States-Mexico border, which could get interesting. I've heard there's some things going on in Texas that might hinder some of those routes, which should be fun to document on our journeys. But I'm looking forward to, hitting southern Arizona, New Mexico, southern part of Texas, hopefully hit the ocean, which I'm excited about.
Yes.
And then kind of make our way back up to the state of Georgia, which I'm excited about. I'm excited to get back to Georgia and be able to, if we do buy an RV, to be able to outfit it and document that process. Because honestly, when we first bought the first RV that we lived in full time and traveled in full time, we did a horrible job documenting what we did to get prepared for that journey. And I think a lot of people are going to be excited to see that, especially with spring coming up and summer, and people are planning to start traveling more, especially as the weather gets better.
Yeah, so I'm excited too. There's gonna be a lot. This stretch is gonna be a little bit different, and it's kind of exciting. So every time we make a big adjustment in our lives like this, it's kind of just nerve-wracking, but exciting at the same time because I know that something new is in store for us.
It's in store for us, but at the same time, it's always very exciting.
We just have to always be thinking about our next step because it's continuously changing.
We at one point in time were in San Francisco. I go, what if we sold the RV and then we bought a boat and then we sailed back to Georgia. And Caitlin's like, is that possible? Like, how do we even do that? I go, I have no idea, but that was a thought process. And for me, I go down these rabbit holes of YouTube and Facebook Marketplace and looking at boats, and I don't think that's a reality. We've been encouraged that we have a challenge of keeping water out of our home. Why would we put our home in the water? Which is probably a good reminder. But at the same time, it would be a hell of a journey.
Yeah. Eventually. I think we'll get on the water eventually. Maybe not right now, though.
So, ultimate goal, 5 years from now, what does it look like, Katelyn?
Ooh, I think that we will, I don't know, I haven't figured out month-wise, but I think that we will still be traveling full-time. I think that we will be RV types traveling. I think we will be on a boat for at least a few months out of the year. And then I also think that we might kind of take an airplane somewhere part of the time. Like 3 different types of traveling.
It's my dream has always been to chase the best weather everywhere. So my idea was always been to RV during hurricane season, and then when we're during hurricane season, which is in the summertime, we would be in the RV, and then when it's not hurricane season and it's winter in the rest of the United States, we would hop on a boat and go somewhere south, like the Caribbean, Dominican Republic, Grenada, BVI, DVI. Where I know nothing about those islands and how to sail there, but it looks amazing on YouTube. And
we could figure that part out.
Yeah, the more I look at these sailing videos, like the more stuff can go wrong. Like an RV, you just pull over to the side of the road, you call a mechanic. On a boat, it's like if you screw it up, you're gonna sink. Like,
yeah, it's always FaceTime, right?
I don't think Starlink works.
What?
At the bottom of the ocean.
Oh yeah.
If you sink the boat,
we gotta call before that happens.
I guess you'd have a radio. I don't know but I mean, those are the adventures. Those are the things that we think about. And I think we have the flexibility to make drastic changes is because we are constantly planning and we are constantly like looking at different options. At least I am. Katelyn gets all settled in, all cozy, and finally makes it a home. And I go, let's sell it. And she's like, I just got it right. And I do that with pretty much everything. Yes. Once I get comfortable, I go, let's change it all. Let's sell it, or let's buy something bigger or smaller, or move across the country.
Yeah. Sometimes I think comfortable is like
I hate being comfortable
for him. So like I just need to like make you a little bit less comfortable, I guess. No, we enjoy the change. I think that the change is part of the adventure for us, and that's what has given us this opportunity to travel so much, is being open to change and open to being a little bit uncomfortable at times.
We've been, in 2023, we were incredibly uncomfortable. Not only because we had some bad luck, but also because we lived in some unique places, and we realized that during those travels in some beautiful places, but not great countries, we realized that, the rest of the people around the world literally live on way less, and you can do it. Like you can live on less and have some incredible experiences. You just got to be really flexible. And we're blessed, and we've taken the necessary risks to kind of set up this style of lifestyle, to be able to document our lives on YouTube. But also what comes with that is the ability to be really, really flexible and be willing to change your plans in a matter of a day, which we did.
Which happens all the time.
I mean, it did help that I was driving through Chinatown and almost hitting people, buildings, rail cars, and the other beautiful things in San Francisco. But I think it's one of our strengths to be incredibly uncomfortable, but also incredibly flexible when it comes to our plans and what we want to do in our life. But also, I think we lay down some foundations to kind of limit that and reduce some of the risk.
Yeah.
We didn't just sell the RV on the side of the road and had nowhere to go.
Right.
Like, we were staying with some family in the time being to be able to get the things ready. So that was one of the big factors to...
So I think our thought process, like, we didn't just like, hey, let's sell it. Just, get rid of it.
No, we had been talking about it for months.
We've been talking about it. We know that we want to upgrade. So it was already in the works. But we were able to get to an area, so to family members, that we would be able to make some repairs if we needed to make repairs. So if nobody was interested or we weren't able to sell, then we were in a spot that it was a safe place that we could make the repairs that were necessary to continue our trip. We didn't have to make those repairs because people wanted the trailer. So we put ourselves in positions where we have options, and we like options.
Yes, typically we like options, and I think it was a good move, because I think we call it an upgrade, and the RV that we're really leaning to it's not any bigger. There's no fancy slides. It's not some big giant rig. We're not upgrading our truck.
No.
But it's gonna be an upgrade in the sense of, the lifestyle choices that we make are gonna be. It's gonna be easier to do what we want to do.
It's gonna be easier. It's gonna be just the elements aren't gonna be able to affect us as much. But in a sense, like it's gonna have a little bit less amenities. Like it doesn't have a stove, I don't think. Like there's gonna be less.
Well, let's not get into details of the specific trailer,
okay.
But it's going to give us a little bit more. It's going to give us more freedom to travel to some places where we're not going to have to worry about certain things like, do you have a slide? And is the slide going to break? Because it seems like everyone's slide breaks, and it just eliminating some of those moving parts to keep us having fun. Because the ultimate goal is not to be driving from RV park to RV park repairing stuff.
Right.
The goal is to drive from, adventure to adventure. And along those adventures, sure, there's going to be some repairs and some things, some general maintenance you want to do. But
absolutely.
we're trying to move towards a direction where that redundancy of having to make so many repairs over and over and over again that's not what this YouTube channel is about. And for the last several weeks, it's been kind of all about repairs. And that's not, at least for me, I don't enjoy watching, or I don't enjoy fixing stuff all the time. So, and I knew with a new RV, there's going to be some of that. And I know that there's going to be some problems. And, as I look at boats, it seems like every boat has 8,000 problems. So it's just eliminating some of those stops. Because I want to keep going. I want to keep traveling, and I don't want to have to repair everything over and over and over again, which sounds to me like it's a common thing with RVs.
Yeah.
We've got friends with, big giant RV, big giant fifth wheels, and we've got, toy haulers, and it just seems like everyone is.
There's always something.
Always something that you're going to have to maintain or, repair or replace. And that's probably not going to change. We were just, we're looking for something simple that doesn't rot.
Yes.
So what are some of the brands that you found? This is probably a question for me, but what are some brands that we're looking at for new RVs?
Honestly, I don't know all the different brands, so this is definitely a question for you.
So we've looked at RVs like Airstream. We've looked at Lance, Barefoot or Bigfoot. I can't remember, something with a B. We looked at the Oliver. We're going to look at the Casita. We're going to look at the ATC, which is like a cargo style. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to look at the Live, which we really like. It's a newer product. And we're going to look at all those different models. And the common thing that you'll notice with those models that I named off is, they're really, really expensive. But also they're built different. Like the Casitas, those are more like fiberglass style RVs. The ATCs are like all aluminum, so there's no wood in them. And then the Live is an all plastic, and then the Airstream has got that that aluminum shell, which is all riveted together so that there's no chance of any water damage. The common thing that we're going to be looking for is something that's not built out of plywood and cheap materials.
Yes.
We're looking for quality.
And if we do ever decide to go in the rain again, we're looking for something that's not going to be intruded by all the rain.
Yeah. And something that's not going to need, me on top of the roof, standing on top of a ladder, trying to dry off the RV in order to get our slide in order to get us down the road.
Yep.
Because it's something that, it's, as we say, we want to chase better weather here in the next, several years. The problem with better weather oftentimes is it comes with rain. Like, we live in the South, we live in Georgia, and,
There's some big storms.
middle of July is hurricane season. It's going to rain, and it might rain 4 inches on you. Well, it might only rain 4 inches on you for an hour, but that's a lot of water. So it's something, as we chase better weather, we're never going to get out of the rain. We're never, ever going to avoid, all the rainy weather. What are we going to park it in the Mojave Desert where it rains 3 times a year? Probably not. That doesn't sound like fun.
The only way to keep it out of rain completely is parking it in storage, and that's not going to happen. So
that is not going to happen. So probably should wrap this up. I apologize for any bad audio quality. We're using a shotgun mic as one of our microphones broke earlier today or yesterday, and I apologize for the camera setup. We're not in the comfort of our own home, so setting up an entire podcast studio is challenging in someone else's house. It's we didn't really want to be that intrusive. So hopefully next week's podcast will be from the road. Might be from a tent. Yep. Might be from a KOA. Hell, it might be from a Airbnb or the Four Seasons.
Fancy.
I didn't say the Four Seasons like hotel. I meant like the Four Seasons like, RV park or, Motel 6.
Got it.
But anyways, till next time, if you guys and gals enjoy these particular episodes, please consider subscribing. Hopefully it's informative. And if there's anything that you want answered, this is probably the episodes that we'll do it on in the podcast setting because it's easier to interact with the audience. And I like to, make fast content. I don't know. If you have any suggestions of what we should document as we take our truck and gear and dog and child across the country, if there's anything that we should see, please let us know below.
Yep.
Till next time.
Stay adventurous.